Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? Another week gone. Just like that, snap your fingers, and we're all better now, right? Well, let's talk about it a little bit tonight. Oh, sorry. Better headspace. So let's talk about it a little bit tonight. Go over it, look at some charts, see what's up, what's not up, why things are going the way they're going. How much farther are they going to go? Did things improve? Did they not improve? We'll talk about it tonight. Well, let's get off into it. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It's free. It costs nothing here to hit the like button. There's a little dinger bell for whenever you hit the like button. While you're there, make sure you do me a solid and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything whenever you come on the stream and check us out. All right. We don't want people to go without knowledge here. The idea is to get as many people as smart as we possibly can, so we make as much money as we possibly can all together. It's really not that complicated. All right. I've got regular Bitcoin pulled up here. This is my chart that I use for like every day. It's very messy. One of the things I wanted to discuss was for you all, whenever y'all decide you want to share some charts around and you want to interest people in what you're interested in. Many people often ask me, okay, how do I get people to listen? First of all, you can't. For anyone to learn anything about this stuff, you have to be willing and able and want to. You can't make anyone do this. They're just not going to do it. They have to either lose or have the will to learn. If they don't have those two things, they're not gonna. It's as simple as that. The will to learn does sometimes come whenever you make enough money and you go, oh man, I better start learning some stuff because this is crazy. But most people don't do that. Most people, for what it's worth, I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. I got this. I made this much. I could never lose it. They get very nonchalant and then they lose their money. So the lesson that I wanted to go over with was make sure the chart is nice and clean. The cleaner it is, the less drawings that are on the chart, the less indicators that are on the chart, the more likely you are to be able to get people to look at what you're trying to show them. If you send them a very messy and very congested chart, they're likely to ignore you or not be interested or not engage with what you're actually showing them. They'll go, oh, yeah, that's crazy. And then that's it. And I know you don't want that. You want people to actually listen to you and understand what you're saying. So, hey, try your best to keep the chart as clean and as simple as you can. That's why I often put charts on the screen the way I do for everyone to see them and understand that they're very clean and simple on purpose. Now I'm going to mess it up a little bit. Here's the problem. So the good news is here, if you look, we are still under this parabola right here. But there have been some significant advances in the last few days here. In the last few days, this recent low that we had, a recent high that we had back here, middle of August, right around my birthday, that high that we had was the last high. And unfortunately, we made a even low here. Didn't make a lower low, it was even. But we have henceforth finally created a new high up here. That is a huge deal. Creating a new high right here opens up an entire new frontier of area. Right here is where our last candle right there in August closed. If we pull down to the wick, which was the bottom of that last candle, if you'll notice that right there, we are above this red box. That is a new high. That is a quote unquote higher high. A higher high is half of an uptrend. That's exactly what we need to see, everybody. Now that we know we have a confirmed uptrend, we have a higher high, we have higher lows, we have a overall higher high here. Excellent. We may get a higher low in here somewhere. How far will this go? Well, that's the next question. Right now, we're flirting around with 65,000. We haven't necessarily broken it, but we're flirting around with it, right? So since we're flirting around with it, we need to see it close and hold above 65 like it did at the end of the day yesterday. 65,150 is where it closed. 65,200, call it what you want. Great. I need to see some confirmation of that by closing one more again above that level. One more close above that level gives me what I want to see. That'd be 2 above the high. Excellent stuff. Currently, we're making a red candle after that green candle, and we haven't quite got there. There's good news, though. If I pull fibs on this to measure this uptrend, right, this was our previous high. This was our last big overall low. That's where we pull our fibs from, the last high to the last low. We use the little green line right there, which is the trend line, to kind of give us an idea of the trend. It looks like right here may have been when we broke out, tested, and took off. So let's just use that as a waypoint here to go, wonder how much farther this could go. Looks like she tried to break right there and failed before it finally took off and got through. Excellent. If that level is correct, that leads us to middle of October here as a point where things would slow down and stop. We're not sure about that yet, so follow carefully and follow closely, but that gives us a basic timeline of middle October. On the positive note, we are above Sniper's Alley, 786,886 right here. We are above that level. That's excellent. As long as we stay above this level, that's gravy. In fact, I've debated about this a little bit, and I've asked a lot of people in the Discord, what do you think? Do you think we're in set it and forget it territory again? Do you think we're in, all right, things are going to be fine from here territory? Well, I'm unsure myself. I don't know. I hate to be a set it and forget it guy because it only ever really costs me money. However, one of the lessons that I learned last bull run was to not be stupid about these moves and understanding they may go faster or slower than you want, and you need to be on top of it. Don't be too quick with the trigger, but be quick when you need to be. So what I'll note here is we're still above Sniper's Alley. We crested above the 1 fib. That's excellent. The next targets become 68 through 74. Do you see that? 68 to 74 become our next targets. These are our take profit fibs, aka the next stopping point. This is in log mode. If I put it in linear, it's not much different. 68 to 72.5, right? Not much different. $1,000 on Bitcoin at that point is like 1.5%, right? No big deal. So these become my next targets, 68 to 73. Important to note, we've talked about that level a lot. Guess what else that level is? That's also, let me get a box here. Boxes are a good way to show what you're trying to explain. Right up here is the all-time high that we made back in March. It didn't last very long, right? Just popped up there and closed down. And in fact, on a monthly chart, it did not make a new all-time high. It actually closed short of an all-time high on a high time frame. But on the daily, it did poke its head up there, right? That level, what I just explained a moment ago, is also the previous all-time high level. So it looks to me like we may attack previous all-time high here, at least short term. Now, I don't mean right now. We're not quite overbought. As you see, we're still trending up here. We haven't become overbought yet. I don't know what this blue line here is. Something else I've drawn. Maybe weekly. We haven't gotten over this blue line, or we haven't gotten over into overbought territory yet. This lends me to believe we have more room to keep going up here. We have a previous high that's been broken. That leads me to believe we could be going up here. The only thing that's holding me back is this, what I talked about earlier, this sort of parabola that we have formed here. All right, I don't like that. I want that to break. That's the last linchpin for me to go, okay, this is it. It's going to rock and roll. I still think we're going to get up here for the next little bit, based on the fact that we're not overbought yet, based on the fact that the monthly closes in a couple days, based on the fact that the quarterly closes in a couple days. This is going to attack previous all-time high. The question is whether it breaches it immediately or not. I'm of the notion that it will not immediately blow through that. I think a pullback happens, and then we get a rock down, pull back up again, and then a breach. That's more likely in my opinion. That's subjective. All that to say, I think it's pretty obvious, and we can all tell this isn't going to last much longer flirting around over here. It's going to break out and go. What does that lead me to believe as far as price-wise goes? If I drag these fibs over and I head them out toward, I'm getting close to the end over here, toward October, November, December, you start to see that we haven't broken out of these lines yet, right? That's that same parabola I was just showing you, but we're very close. And this lends me to believe that 82, 87, and 95 are but a matter of time. Are but a matter of time. They're going to take a little bit to get there. Obviously, we attack 72-ish first, and then we see what happens throughout the rest of the time till we get to roughly February. That's tax time. That's our next big, okay, time to slow down point. Folks, we are a long way from that. There's a lot of up to happen until then. And for what it's worth, we've got a lot of evidence across the board that things are bottomed out and they're not going to go down anymore. And I can show you some of those as we go through the stream here. I wanted to start with Bitcoin so you could understand what I'm seeing price action wise. I think short term, sideways, float around, then back up, attack previous all-time high. After we attack previous all-time high, likely fail, but only for a short amount of time. Once this short amount of time's over, we attack an all-time high again and break out. I think all that happens by February or March. That's my timeline on that happening first. From there, we retrace a little bit, roll back, catch its breath, think about it, and then we'll see about that next push up after that. That's a long way out into the future. We got a long way to go before then. I think everyone would agree with that. I think that's a fair take from everyone, right? Right. Let's go a little bit farther here. How are our moving averages? Oh, we've been talking about this one. We look at these moving averages almost every time we pull up a stream like this. And as you see, I said that I wanted to see this thing close above the 200 moving average. Guess what it's done? It's closed above the 200-day moving average. These moving averages act as rolling support and rolling resistance. As you're under the lines, they become resistance. As you're above the lines, they become support. 50 is the yellow line. 100 is the blue line. 200 is the red line. Those are daily moving averages. 50, 100, 200. Yellow, blue, red. Yellow, blue, red. 50, 100, 200. Rolling support and rolling resistance. Now that we are above all the lines, we are effectively on top of support, which is exactly where you want to be. It will take some time for these moving averages to file themselves through. As you see, the 50 is now very sharply and aggressively attacking the 100 moving average. They will cross. When they cross, after we get up, we will have a short-term pullback while these two moving averages down here cross. That's what we call a tits cross, everyone. That's price action coming back to check a crossing. That's a good thing. Now, I'm not trying to say that the price is going to come all the way back down here. Pause. Did not say that. What I did say is we'll get some sort of retrace up here as these moving averages cross and they work themselves back out. In time, what you're going to see is this yellow sweep up, the 100 sweep up behind it, and the 200 slowly sweep up. So they'll do something like this. As the moving averages roll up, you'll see them flip back in the proper direction that we want and be much better off than the other ones. All right, we haven't had that happen yet. Time spent waiting is very valuable time here. We will see that happen. It's only a matter of time. All right, let's go look at the comments real fast. Let me pop this out. Loading. There we go. Switcher over here. Right there. Perfect. All right. Oh, snap. Brother Bill. I don't have anything to drink. Thank you, sir. $20. You didn't have to do that. Appreciate that. Been a long week. Let's have one. I'll have one after that. How about after this? How about that? I don't have anything on hand. It's been a stressful afternoon. I don't want to do that right now. Like that's the wrong time to drink. So I'll wait on it and I'll do it. What's up, Kev? Good to see you, brother. Ron Poteet, my cousin Jeremy. What's up? Jeremy D, how are you? Phonetic Duck, what's up? Big Fish. I didn't, but I will. I think that's what you're trying to say. I didn't, but a we. Maybe. I can't really say that. I'm sorry. Good to see you. Brian W. Brother Bill again. Thank you. Cola Cola. How are you? Carmine. What's up? Farood. Pivot Trader. Cyclic Hot. What's up, Jeremy? Electric Ken. Good to see you, bro. Cody Kinsel. What's up? Crypto Elephant. How you doing, brother? Let's get some likes. Yeah, bro. We got 40 people on. 20 likes, dude. Come on. I'll go hit like. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It's free dollars for TA around here. And again, we keep it 100%. We don't do fluff. We don't have time for fluff. We don't We don't have time for BS. We're grown folks over here. Terry Brennan, sorry I'm late. Hey, bro, it's okay. Look, dude, I'm over here in South Carolina. I'm in upstate South Carolina, and we've had like 3.5 or 4 inches of rain today, so I fully get it, dude. Everybody's getting hit. And by the way, if the stream cuts out because I lose internet, I'm sorry. There's a hurricane on the way. I don't know what to tell you. We've been getting hit for 2 days now by rain. Bands are pushing way up. It's crazy. But they're getting hit really bad down there in South Georgia. Andrew Ionescu, bro, just moved into my new house. Let's go, dude. Port City Investment says, do AVAX now. Nah. I might get to AVAX. We try not to do a bunch of altcoins on here because it turns into, hey, Keith, tell me what to buy and sell. And I really, really, really dislike that. I don't want anyone to copy me. I don't want anyone to listen to what I say. I want you to learn to do this on your own or with us together as a group, and then we can make better decisions together. I don't want anyone to come on here and go, well, Keith said it, so I'm doing it. Go look for yourself. Go see what you think. Before I get too far, Bitcoin CME. The thumbnail said, here come the bulls, right? Right? Why did I make the thumbnail what I made it? Why did I do that? Right? Enter the bulls. Well, here we go, dude. We've jumped all the moving averages on the regular chart, and here we are on CME. I highlighted this as the blue support zone. This goes all the way back to 2021. Look at that. How cool is that? The same zone all the way back to 2021 for the most part, aside from a day or two, held up the entire time. And now that we've made a new local high, which is the little green box you see right here, same deal, right? Local high, excellent. CME is cleanly over the 1 fib. Beautiful. Now we just need to sit back and wait. Even on CME, it shows 69 to 74 and some change. And I put this in linear mode. It's a little bit more sharp. I'll say that. And again, I've said this before, while I'll use 95% of the time log mode, there's a place for linear mode. I think there is. And here's a good example. A big high time frame fib line, this red line up here, happens to pretty much match up identically with this short-term move, which is awesome. At 72,875, call it 72,750, right? I think that's a more close way of doing it. But nonetheless, that's much higher than 65, isn't it? But that's also attacking previous all-time high. I said it's a high time frame fib. It's not. It's a resistance line. See that same resistance line. I said that wrong. I apologize. That resistance line is directly in line with the 1618 up there. See that? Is that really that complicated for everybody to see? It's not. Kind of tells me it's a little bit of foreshadowing here. Green line is our short-term uptrend. I expect this to hold for now. If it doesn't, opinion changes and we reassess one step at a time. All right. Important to note, the CME chart seems to be a little bit more accurate. I say that because it closes on the weekends and it kind of erases some of the volatility. Plus it gives us CME gaps, which help us kind of see the future. And we've been over the 200 moving average the entire time over here. We're only just now breaking it on the regular Bitcoin chart. See that? CME chart has kind of given us a little bit of foreshadowing this whole time. That's why I want to pay more attention to it and not forget about it so much. I think it's kind of important to remember these things if we can. I've also been trying to wear my headphones differently and not have them on the middle of my head all the time because I don't want to get the head dent from wearing headphones all the time. So if it looks weird, I apologize. Sorry about that, folks. But for you looking at my head, bruh. Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
What the hell is even that?
Exactly. So real quick, dollar index. This is important. We've talked a lot about the dollar index and how it kind of acts inversely against Bitcoin, but not always. We've seen this volatility pick up down here at the bottom. As you see, it's kind of thinking about it, hesitating, what you're going to do. But all the while doing this, staying down and making a lower low each time. I was a little afraid that this thing would come up here and peak over at the 50. It looks like it's going to do it on a lower scale, which means down she goes, following the trend line. I do think eventually this red trend line right here will break. See that? I drew that a little off. Let me scale that right there. So that's pretty much dead in line with the 50 moving average. If and when we see this 50-day moving average get flipped by the dollar index here, if we see this price jump over that 50-day moving average, that would lend me to believe that we're going to slow down a little bit across the board. That does not mean the bull run is over. just means that we're going to slow down a little bit. And here's the empirical evidence I'll give you that shows you what I mean. This is back in 2020. This is November of 2020, roughly about the same time we're at right now, beginning of October, end of September. This same kind of move happened back then. See this? All right, same kind of thing that's happening right now. Difference is it jumped the 50 and then failed the 50 again. It doesn't look like we're going to do that this time. Looks like we're going to stay steady under the 50, but more so I want you to notice how it stayed under this trend line all the way till the 2021 began. Pretty much Q1 2021 was when this thing jumped back positive. That's roughly the same time I think that Bitcoin's going to slow down in 2021 as well. And if you noticed, I marked BTC peaked, which was right after the dollar index started getting funky and jumped over the trend line and started playing around right here. When I see this happen, which I think will be next year around tax time, then we'll start talking again. Till then, one step at a time. We're going to get trickled down from there where we likely get money feeding from Bitcoin into altcoins. That helps us start off our alt season. But first, Bitcoin dominance has to break. So let's look at Bitcoin dominance. 50 people on, 31 likes. Man, y'all go hit like. It's free, bro. Why not? If you're on here and being a hater, what does that do any good, right? So come on and jump on and let's talk about it. By the way, please jump in the comments and give me your takes. Tell me what you think. Not so much subjective. Give me some objective stuff. Look at the chart and tell me what y'all think over in the chat real quick. I'd love to talk back and forth with you a little bit. JS Relax says, great TA. Thank you, brother. My power just went out as you came on. That's crazy, dude. Andrew said, you told me to think for myself, so I did. Let's go, dude. Let's go. That's all right, bro. I love the 3 checks you shared a couple of streams back, bro. Very cool. So now that you mentioned that, we got a stream that we're going to do over in Discord. If you haven't done so, our Discord, wap.com/team786. We got a stream we're going to do in, I think 2 weeks on a Tuesday, or a week and a half on a Tuesday. It's a basic explanation of the same thing I went over on the stream. We'll go a little bit hardcore into it, and I'm going to record the whole thing. Then I'm going to make a separate, very short, sweet video about it. The old school long videos, long format videos, a lot of people liked, and a lot of people said they wanted them to come back. Thing is, the views are so far down on everything we do. I do a live stream like this, and it might get 200 views. Maybe 200 views. It used to be 2,000, 3,000. We're all the way down to 200. That tells me not many people are watching and not many people are interested, which sucks. I was really hoping to be better than that. It kind of lends me to believe that the luster of everything we do has gone away. So I've got to start planning for that, which means doing more stuff in the Discord and less stuff on YouTube, which is what I'm trying to do. Anyway, that's over in the Discord, posted in the events section for everyone to see, and be ready for that. Bitcoin dominance. I've talked about this a lot. It's currently bouncing on the 50-day moving average, trying to stay bullish. This was a very, very aggressive pullback, right? But it did the same thing back here and then caught itself up and moved up more. Don't hesitate to think this thing can't do it again. Don't think it can't come down here and then make another move up. It's done it before. As soon as this yellow trend line fails, in my opinion, that's when Bitcoin dominance takes its first downturn. As you see, this yellow trend line has held and is still holding for a very long time. It's the same thing that happened back in 2020. See that? Very same thing, right about the same time in the whole sequence here. September, October, November, you've seen a very strong move up on Bitcoin here. I'm assuming the same thing is either happening now or is about to happen. If the trend line fails, it would change my opinion, but it hasn't failed yet. So until this fails, I'm to assume Bitcoin is still the king and will continue to essentially bully altcoins around. It'll go up, and the altcoins follow Bitcoin's lead. It'll go down, the altcoins will follow Bitcoin's lead. That really doesn't stop until Bitcoin dominance rolls over and quits, and it just has not got over on the other side of that trend line yet. Till that happens, it's not alt season. Does that mean that altcoins won't go up? That's not what that means. It means that they will follow the king's lead. It's only a matter of time before they stop following, but for now, they're still following. What's up, crew chief? Good to see you, bro. I appreciate y'all. You should check out precious metals. Yeah, we do gold and precious metals almost every single morning over in the Discord on Monday mornings. We go over those as they're one of the top traded assets in the world: gold and silver and palladium, platinum, iridium, and a few other things. I don't always chart them, but yes, gold has been wild, which is yet another hedge against inflation. As soon as the government stopped propping up bonds, money went into risk, and the first thing it went into was gold, and I expect it to keep going for that reason. Yeah, nickel was a good trade last year. Not last year, last bull run. You got to take some of those gains, get some backup generators. You know, I don't. Sometimes it's nice not to have power for a little while. No, we've talked about it, but we have underground power here. For the most part, it doesn't get knocked out like that, so we try not to worry about having a generator too much. The new house we build will probably have one, but for now, no. That's the ones that still want to learn are patient and still here watching. Many get rich quick video watchers. Bro, look, you're right. Dude, I've had several people, including China Matt, some other people share some really, really crappy looking stuff to me recently. Such clickbait, and that really irritates the hell out of me when I see clickbait. Speaking on clickbait, this is not clickbait. This is the 2016 bull run on the left and the 2024 bull run on the right. And before you say, oh, well, it's not the same, I would agree it's not. It's similar. It's similar. I'm going to look at this and show you what I think here, but it's not based on percent gains. It's based on the candlestick pattern and the look of the chart. The scale is going to be different. The prices will be different, but the candlestick pattern will remain similar. All right. It doesn't mean that you can take this and then glue it to 2024 and say, oh, we're going to make 13,000%. No. It's not how it works. What I am going to show you, though, is the comparison between the two here and how accurate I think they are. Talked about this a dozen other times, but people still didn't see it. This is the halving from 2016. This is the halving from now. As you see, before the halving, we had a big run up with a steep fall, big run up with a steep fall. This thing climbed very aggressively. Sort of topped out around halving, slowed down to the right before it caught the trend line and bounced, slowed down into the right, but has not caught the trend line and bounced. Furthermore, I want to highlight that this was in the 618 to 71 range. That's 61 to 71% recovery from the bottom. This time we have recovered 78 to 88% of the recovery has been done. And we tickled all-time high already. We didn't do that until the next year last time, all the way over in February, where I think we'll be long past all-time high this run. Now, again, the candlestick pattern is staying the same. The percents will not. As you see on the left, this was a very aggressive move, and the percentage were gaining very, very rapidly. Over here, you're not going to get the same kind of thing. You're going to get a slow climb up that's going to slowly double in price. If you look at this compared to 2016, a similar move to the 1272 or the 1214 puts us at 100,000 to 130. If you get up to the 618, which we did right here in the summer of 2017, which was the year after halving, summer of 2025, which is the year after halving, that would put us at around 175 by the summer. I'm not sold on that. I think 175 by the end of the run seems a little bit more relevant, but I could be wrong, and I hope to be wrong about that. I'm hoping that the price is all the way up to the 170 region by summer, because if it is, that gives us the chance to blow the top off and approach the 2.272 fib up here that it hit every bull run except the last one. 2020 did not do this. 2020 stopped here. And that's why I've been showing you only this area, because I don't believe we're necessarily going to get a blow off top. I think that's hopium. That blow off top number over here would be almost 500,000, 462,000 and some change to be exact. But as you see, it peaked over a little bit right here. If it peaked over just a little bit right over here, that's 500K just above the line. I'm not saying this is probable. I'm saying it's possible. I'm saying that you should probably not expect this much of a run up. I do not expect that aggressive of a price run. I don't. I expect 100 to 175, 175 on the high end. Anything more than that, and I'm grateful for the extra gains. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Now, all that I just said is not a guarantee, obviously. That's just my take on what the charts look like. That's just how I see it. Yeah, you have to stop by on Mondays. Every Monday morning we do that at 8:30 before the market opens. That's why we do it. Right, exactly. It never repeats itself, but it comes very, very close. And the differences are in the percent gains and the amount of money you make. They're still going to have a good looking chart, but you're not going to have 13,000% again on Bitcoin. That's just not going to happen, right? We know that because there's too much money in it. To multiply the money in it now 13,000 times would be insane. The math doesn't line up. Bitcoin dominance got rejected at the 71 fib in 2020. We're slightly above the 618 fib right now. Not far away. BTC has a trending high RSI. At what point does it give you pause for a bullish move? So I talked about this RSI a little bit before you might have got on. So we look at the RSI here. In fact, RSI is still not overbought. Until it gets up here in the overbought region, I'm not too much worried about a overbought condition. In fact, I think this overbought condition likely steams out and doesn't stop till middle of October, toward the end of October or the beginning of November, where I think we'll have a short-lived retrace before more up. Q4 is almost always bullish, especially in a halving year. So for me to run away and be scared right now is stupid. This is also a big bullish megaphone, in case you haven't noticed that. This will break north. It's only a matter of time. A short-term down up here at the top is fully reconcilable and possible, but a breakout there is also highly likely. Again, we're on support now, and we only have a little bit of resistance left for this entire chart to break out of all-time high and run like a scalded dog. Baby steps, but we're getting there. Baby steps, but we're getting there. All right, so did Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum real fast. It's not much to talk about. It's getting dominated by Bitcoin. Go figure. Good news is, zooming out here, all she did so far is bounce the trend line a little bit, which is perfect. Having these trend line hits is everything you want to see. That's wonderful. It has not broken out yet on the higher time frame. You see that? Building a bit of a wedge. See the wedge right here? Right? So likely it ping pongs around in here a little bit, or down, then break out, something like that. Maybe it creates an inverse head and shoulders, right? And then we get a breakout that runs up to the upper neckline right here. That makes a whole lot of sense, actually. And break the neckline, and then off we go. It's been my stance, and I'll continue to stand on this hill until I can't stand on it anymore. Ethereum just follows Bitcoin until Bitcoin decides it's ready to hand over some money to Ethereum. And that hasn't happened yet. And it likely won't happen for a bit. I'm just sitting back in Ethereum, using Ethereum as a profit dump. I threw a bunch of my profits over there, and the fall was much more minimal than it was on a lot of the other altcoins that I had left a lot of money in. So I was able to save a lot of percentage by throwing profits over here and leaving it sitting in this and Bitcoin. It worked out actually wonderfully, and I should have did it more. I would have saved myself probably 6 figures by throwing all my money into Bitcoin and just letting it go sideways for 6 months. But that's hindsight, and I hate hindsight analysis. So you saw what Bitcoin moving averages look like. Here's the problem. Ethereum moving averages do not look the same. The good news is you're over the 50 on the 50 821. So if I did the threes rule, you got 3 check marks: 821 EMA cross, 50 moving average, and 8 EMA. Excellent. You got 3 out of 3 on the daily chart. So now it's just a waiting game. That part sucks. Good news is it's got 3 out of 3. So with the good comes the bad. Now you're stuck waiting. Pulling fibs on it. Over the 382, hasn't quite gotten to the 50, but it will. That's 27.56. It's almost a lock. Sniper's Alley is way up here at 3,190. I would assume 3,000 first, which is right here in the golden pocket. So 3,000 is a nice even round number. I think that's probably where it goes in the medium term, meaning the next month. At least 3,000. I think that's a good round even target. Not financial advice. Do your own thing, dude. Chart it for yourself if you don't believe me. Right here's R1. That's also at 3,000. If we pull up the cloud, the top of the cloud is at 2,900, which is basically 3,000. Bollinger Bands pointing up. That's good. They were screaming tight and getting very, very volatile. I like that. This stuff all points up to me. It doesn't point down, which is great. The more up we have, the better everyone feels about it and the less tension, right? Let's see. All right, I'm just looking at comments real fast. So I almost always do XRP on here, and this is important. All right, so like I said, I kind of try to do XRP every stream because I know a lot of people watch it. I know a lot of people are looking. Like I told y'all before, Google tells me that 60% of everyone that watches this watches for XRP. Mind-boggling. You've made no money or little to no money on it, but yet 60% of the people still watch it. Disclaimer, I have no money in this anymore. As you see, it says sold it all to Bitcoin, and it's still in Bitcoin. I could sell it off from Bitcoin and buy other stuff. I'm not gonna. I'm waiting patiently on this. Talked about this before, but this price action has worked out almost exactly like we thought it would. I know it's not going up as fast as you want, but we are almost there. It's just about to start attacking this trend line again. And when it does attack that red trend line that you see right there, it's only a matter of time before it breaks over it, back tests, and then bounces off of it. It's only a matter of time. These arrows are just an exaggeration to show you that it's going to break. These back here have been very, very, very accurate. I can tell you that between 65 and 75 cent will be the worst possible place here. That's the meat of resistance on XRP. But that's not a bad thing. Attacking resistance is a good thing. We are above every single moving average. You couldn't ask for a better look as far as those go. You just had a 100-200 cross. That's excellent. All the moving averages are moving sideways while the price is sitting on top of them. That is perfectly fine. Bollinger Bands are starting to squeeze in and get tight again, which means volatility is incoming. Once that volatility hits, that will vault it over this trend line. I can almost assure you that's going to happen. That's why I labeled this go time. As I've explained before, down here was your lowest buy zone that you were going to get. How did we know that was going to happen? Well, it always happens that way for XRP after halving. There's our halving line. There's our bottom line. That's the quote unquote buy zone. Same thing happened in 2020. Oh, but SEC. Oh, but pandemic. Same thing happened after halving, before the bottom. You had the buy zone. Anywhere in here was a stellar buy because it was the last chance you were going to get to buy super low. Off it went. Just past the last chance line, the go time box was there. See that? Just past the last chance line, the go time box was right there. Maybe that's not true, Keith. Maybe it's different and you're wrong. Well, how about 2016? Would that make you feel better if you saw 2016 and said, no, it has to be 2020. It has to be now. It's not the same. Halving, bottom, perfect buy zone. Now, 2016 was more volatile. Yes, and I will agree with you. There was only 4 coins back then, so it was very difficult to miss on this because there's only like a few to buy. Last chance came. This one did drag its feet for a while before it got all the way over here, back tested the trend line, and then took off. I do think this one will be faster. Everything's following a little closer now. Needs a little bit more time. Like I said, you're about to attack this trend line. It's only a matter of time. It's all good for XRP. One more time, 65 to 75 is the heart of resistance. It will not buckle easily. It needs to attack it and break it. I don't expect it to do it on the first try. I do expect it to attack 65 to 75 in the near term. That's not so hard to believe, is it? Everything I just said was fairly straightforward, objective, and chart-based, yeah? That wasn't subjective at all, I don't think. You look at the chart and you go, oh, this is this. Is MicroStrategy sitting sideways or is the bull flag? Pretty much copies Bitcoin. So it's sideways at the moment. Bull flag would be inverse of what it's doing right now. So it's kind of making a bit of a bear flag. We can go look at it though. That's under my top assets. We also look at MicroStrategy. Not every Monday, but we do look at it. I don't have it listed. I put it in the Discord. That's why. So this was technically a bear flag when it was coming down here boiling. That's already broken. And just like Bitcoin, it's attacking those local highs. This one's a little bit more clean. It already broke that high. See that? Excellent. It's already made a new high. It's exactly what I wanted to see Bitcoin do, but this one did it to an exaggerated level, which is great. We can look at this and pull fibs on it and kind of get a little bit of a head start on what Bitcoin might do, because it's most of what MicroStrategy has is Bitcoin. So 183 on MicroStrategy makes sense. That's also right up here along resistance, again attacking that previous all-time high. Looks like it's going to happen, doesn't it? That's what I mean by saying, have we gotten to the set it and forget it mode? It's a tough call, maybe. I'm hopeful. Now let's do AVAX, because we only have time for one more. All right. So I've got the Bitstamp chart pulled up here. Why did I do that? Well, this is the nice clean chart that I have for AVAX. All my other ones have drawings all over them. I'll explain why I have drawings all over them. Because I like to leave what I'm drawing so I can go back and remember what I'm doing. I'll pull fibs on this now, and I'll pull those till December 2025 like I have on all the rest. November 2025. Close enough. That's where they stop. I did that because that's where the trend line falls, and the candles seem to fall most easily on the trend line there. On top of that, you can see that we're slightly below the 50 fib at 30 bucks. Likely going to get stuck on that. If I put any moving averages up here, you see that we got moving averages slightly above. And remember, if you're under the lines, they act as resistance. So on a weekly chart, there's some resistance there. That being said, another trend line here has broken. What is this right here? That's a big falling wedge. Folks, falling wedges are very, very bullish. And this just broke out of a falling wedge. So on that note, we can take the data that we've got there and go, hey, this is a breakout. Let's pull some fibs on it. If I pull fibs on this, and I'll cheat a little bit here, tell you February, March is tax time next year. Those fibs line out to 33 bucks first, Golden Pocket at 39 to 45, Sniper's Alley at 786, up here around 56 bucks, which is close to 61, which is the overall Sniper's Alley. It looks to me like we're going to revisit Sniper's Alley up here at 60 bucks-ish. That being said, it doesn't mean it can't go farther than that, but that's the first important level, and I would like to reassess after that. That does not discount the fact that this thing has broken out of a big falling bullish wedge. It's only a matter of time before it does more damage. In fact, as long as this line that I'm drawing right now in green, as long as the price stays above this, you really don't have a reason to sell a bunch of AVAX. I got AVAX and I'm not going to sell mine. And that's what I mean by that. It's a pretty bullish setup here. Just needs a little bit more time to finish what it's doing. What's up, Danny Deep Pockets? So I'm here for AVAX too. That was also one of my profit dumps where I threw a lot of extra money. Now that one cost me. Good news is I'm not down as much as I was on it because I added some more and DCA'd it a little bit. Worked out great for me. That was 45 minutes. We only do 45 minutes these days till we get more people watching. Then we'll bump it back up to an hour if people so desire. Thank you all for being on here. I appreciate all the comments that come in. This was refreshing after my afternoon. So thank y'all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. That was biggie. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. I'm not sure if I should still be quoting Jay-Z, but we'll see. I'm quoting for now. That's a Jay-Z quote. And last but not least, no one else told you today. Keith will tell you. Keith loves y'all. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all on the next stream next Thursday. Same time. Y'all be good. Sky's the limit.